If you want to get local clients from social media without feeling like you're gambling every day, you need to hear this. Because right now, every time you post, you're hoping the right person sees it at the exact right moment when they're ready to buy. And that's not a strategy, that's playing the lottery. I built 2 local Facebook communities to over 30,000 members and generated 7 figures from organic social media content. But what I'm about to show you has nothing to do with posting more content, getting more followers, or running a single ad. It's about building something that makes clients come to you already sold. So here's the first way to stop gambling, and it probably is the opposite of what you're expecting me to say. Stop talking about your business so much. And I know that sounds odd, but you have to hear me out because this is exactly what I did. I stopped posting about what I did every single day, and then I started posting about things in my community that people actually cared about. And look, it wasn't anything fancy. I was talking about new developments that were going in town, restaurants that were going away, the best local coffee shops, things like that. I was highlighting other businesses and sharing what was happening around town, just being a real person who loves where they live. And here is why this works. Because right now, if you scroll through your feed on any social media platform, everything looks the same from local business owners. You have templated photos, AI written captions, zero personality, zero heart, zero soul. You cannot tell one business owner from the next. And that is the faster way to gamble because you're rolling the dice more, but the odds never get better. They are actually getting way worse. And you might think that because you're posting frequently that you're being visible, but the opposite is actually happening. So the fix is simple. It's just being a real human being. And I made a post about a local bakery, right? And it reached 48,000 people on Facebook between my 2 groups. And I wasn't even selling anything. I was just sharing what I noticed that they were doing as a local business with their marketing. In addition to that, I made long form videos about what was going on around me, and they got a few thousand views and people were connecting in the comments. I even did interviews with local business owners before that got me in front of the right eyeballs and more eyeballs, which is what you want. And you know what happens when you show up consistently over time. When someone in the community actually needs what you do, other members are going to tag you, they're going to vouch for you without ever even asking for it. And not because of one post, because you became the familiar face, the person they already feel like they know, right? They could have never even worked with you before, but since you are visible to the right people, they help you by tagging you. But showing up as a real human is only part of it. Here's what nobody's talking about. And this is where you go from just being likable to actually being the person they want to hire. So the second way to stop gambling is this. You start creating content that speaks directly to their problems that your ideal client is having before they even know that they need you. And I did this in my real estate career. I was not posting, hire me as your realtor, like every single day, right? I was posting about the mistakes people make when getting a house ready for sale, what to look out for when they're looking to hire a realtor, the most important things that you should do before you list your home, and content that made people think, wow, this person actually knows what they're talking about, because everybody else was doing pick me, here's numbers, here's stats, and all boring content. And by the time that they were ready to make a move, I was already the obvious person that they were going to call. And this works literally in any service-based industry. If you are a dog trainer, you're not posting every day saying, hire me to train your dog. You're posting about why dogs pull on the leash and what people do wrong when they're trying to fix it. You're posting about what to look out for when hiring a dog trainer and what are red flags to watch for. That kind of content makes someone realize that they have a problem that they didn't fully understand, and it makes you the obvious person to solve it. My buddy John is a financial advisor, and he built a local Facebook community to almost 2,000 members doing exactly this. And somebody commented in his group, he said like 2 years ago, and she's now sitting down with him and having a meeting 2 years later. That's not luck. That's what happens when you consistently show up, you stay on topic, and you speak to real problems. The right people find you at the right time because you're already in the room with them. And here is where the AI slop thing comes full circle, right? Anybody can post generic tips about your business. And unfortunately, that's what most business owners are doing still in 2026. But here is the catch. AI does it better than you, faster than you, and way more reliable than you, even if the information isn't even always right. But nobody else can share your specific experience and your real perspective on the problems that your clients face. AI can't share about your local expertise and what you know about being in your area. That is what makes people stop and think, wow, this person actually gets it. But once you have that going, there is something else that turns all of it into actual clients. When you focus on helping people first, they trust you. When you tell them what not to do instead of just selling them on what you offer, they trust you. When you give people the actual truth, even when it's not what they want to hear, they trust you. And here is the one that really gets people. When you teach them how to do it themselves, instead of trying to get them to hire you, they trust you even more. When somebody reaches out to me, I don't pitch, right? I would send them to a YouTube playlist and I'm gonna say, go watch these videos because I've made content about this already. And by the time that we actually get on a call, they already feel like they know me, right? They already trust me. The content did the selling, so I didn't have to. Because here is what that kind of content communicates. It says, I care more about your outcome than I care about making money for myself, just pitching my services. And the people, they are smart, right? Like they can feel that. They can feel it through your content. They feel it through how you show up in your community as well. And when they feel that from you, they don't just shop around. They come to you already sold. And look, that is not luck. That's creating your own luck by building real trust, right? With the right people over time. And when preparation meets opportunity, that's my definition of luck. You're in the right place at the right time, right? But none of this works without the one thing that I'm going to show you right now. So here's what actually separates business owners who get clients consistently from social media and the ones who are still rolling the dice every single day. And I'm telling you, it's not talent. It's not how good you are on camera. It's not even how good your content is. It's whether or not you have a real system and strategy behind what you're actually doing. Because without a system, every single week feels like you're starting over. And I'm saying this from years of experience of not having a system, right? Like you do not know what to post. You do not know if it's working and you're just guessing, hoping something sticks. And that right there is gambling with social media. The system that I built for other local business owners is called the Align system. And it covers 6 really important things. We're talking about who you're talking to, what your voice actually sounds like, what you're going to talk about and why, where you're going to show up, how you're going to build community, and how you are going to execute consistently without burning out. And when you have all 6 of those locked in, you stop guessing and you start executing a real plan. And here's what no guru talks about on social media. It's all an experimentation. You're going to post things that work. You're going to post things that don't work. But here's the difference between gambling and experimenting with intention. When you gamble, you have no idea why something worked or why it did not. When you have a system, you're testing with a purpose. You're trying something, you look at what happens, and then you adjust. This isn't luck. This is how you build something that gets better over time. When I work with clients, the first thing we do before anything is sit down for the Align strategy session, and we figure out what they're posting and why. What is building community? What is building trust? And what is moving people closer to working with you? And then we batch it. So instead of waking up every day asking like, what am I gonna post? You sit down once and you create everything for the next few weeks. That shift alone removes so much of the gambling because you're no longer reacting, you're actually executing a plan. And here's the thing about a real strategy, it has to be flexible because life happens. Things come up, business gets busy, family gets sick, all that stuff, and your strategy falls apart. The moment that something changes, it was never really a strategy, right? The system has to work for real business owners who have real lives like you. This isn't just theory either. These are real business owners in completely different industries who stopped gambling and started creating their own luck. Lori, a friend of mine, is a dog trainer, and she built a Facebook community of 500 members around dog owners in her local area. And she shows up consistently. She's always helping people. She shares her knowledge, and people are now leaving big box training companies to work with her specifically because of her content and her reputation that she has built. She did not have to chase them. They are now coming to her. My buddy John, I mentioned earlier, is a financial advisor. And one of the first things that we did together was rename his group and build a strategy around that. He made it more aspirational, right? Get financially free, because the name of your community matters and it should speak to what people actually want. So he's getting new members every single week and new clients from the content he's putting out. And then someone else I worked with in the past, he built his community to 10,000 members, and he said that almost 100% of his business now comes from that group, right? Like, not just some of it, but almost all of it. And here's the thing about these three people. None of them are running ads. None of them are doing cold outreach. They're just showing up consistently, being real, and helping people. That's it. Look, if this feels overwhelming and you don't know where to start, that's exactly what I do, and I help other business owners get local clients with, right? Because you're running your business. You're so busy. You don't have time to figure out this social media thing. 95% of local business owners cannot stay consistent with posting on social media over the long term. And that's exactly what I do. And that's exactly how I can help you as well. All you have to do is click the link in the description to schedule an appointment with me. And if you want to know how to build a thriving local community for your business, watch this next video here.